There is a moment, just before dawn, when even your thoughts go quiet. Stay until the end, or the water finally stills. The darkness was almost palpable, a living entity that wrapped itself around him like a shroud. He had not spoken to another human being in 31 days, but it was the previous 3 that had left him questioning his very existence. What happened next changed everything he thought he knew about himself. The stars above, a twinkling canvas of light, seemed to whisper secrets to the waves below. Each crest and trough was a reminder of the vastness that surrounded him, an endless expanse of blue that both terrified and mesmerized. He clung to his board, a lifeline in the void, as the sun began its slow ascent into the sky. The silence was almost deafening, punctuated only by the gentle lapping of the water against the board. As the day wore on, the sun beat down upon him, relentless in its ferocity. He felt like a small, insignificant speck, a mere mortal in the face of nature's wrath. And yet, even as the heat drained the life from his body, he found a sense of peace, a sense of belonging to something much greater than himself. The waves, the sun, the stars, all were connected, all were one. What he discovered out there is something most people spend a lifetime avoiding. The hours passed, each one a struggle to stay alive, to stay sane. He thought of his loved ones, of the life he had left behind, of the choices that had led him to this moment. Regrets and doubts swirled in his mind, like the eddies that formed in the water around him. But as the sun began to set, casting the sky in a golden glow, he felt a sense of acceptance wash over him. The silence that followed was unlike any he had ever heard. In this stillness, he found a sense of clarity, a sense of purpose. He realized that the journey, not the destination, was the true prize. The struggles, the doubts, the fears, all were part of the tapestry that made life worth living. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, he felt a sense of connection to the universe, a sense of oneness with all that existed. The darkness was no longer something to be feared, but something to be embraced. The night wore on, the stars wheeling above him like diamonds on velvet. He felt small, yet connected to the vast expanse of the universe. The waves, the wind, the stars, all were part of a greater whole, a whole that included him. And in this moment, he knew that he was not alone, that he was part of something much greater than himself. What happened next changed everything he thought he knew about himself. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, he felt a sense of peace, a sense of resolution. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had also been transformative. He had discovered a strength within himself that he never knew existed, a strength that would stay with him for the rest of his life. The water, once a symbol of fear and uncertainty, had become a symbol of hope and renewal. As he paddled towards the shore, he knew that he would never forget this journey, this odyssey of self-discovery. The shore, a thin line of sand and rock, grew larger with each passing moment. He felt a sense of excitement, of anticipation, mixed with a sense of sadness. The journey was ending, but the memories, the lessons, would stay with him forever. As he stepped onto dry land, he felt a sense of gratitude, of wonder. The world, once a familiar and mundane place, had become a vast and mysterious universe, full of wonder and awe. The days that followed were a blur of activity, a whirlwind of media attention and public interest. But he knew that the true journey had not been the 3 days in the Pacific, but the journey within. The journey of self-discovery, of growth, of transformation. The waves, the stars, the silence, all had played a part in his odyssey, a part that would stay with him for the rest of his life. And as he looked out at the ocean, he knew that he would always be drawn to its power, its beauty, its mystery. In the end, it was not the survival that had been the greatest challenge, but the living. The living with oneself, with one's own doubts and fears. The living with the knowledge of one's own mortality, of the fragility of life. But it was in this living, in this embracing of the unknown, that he had found a sense of peace, a sense of purpose. The ocean, once a symbol of fear, had become a symbol of hope, a reminder of the beauty and the wonder that lay just beyond the horizon. As he walked along the shore, feeling the sand between his toes, the wind in his hair, he knew that he would never forget this journey. The journey of a lifetime, a journey that had changed him forever. The ocean, the stars, the silence, all had played a part in his transformation, a transformation that would stay with him for the rest of his life. And as he looked out at the vast expanse of the Pacific, he knew that he would always be drawn to its power, its beauty, its mystery. Beyond the blue horizon lay a world of wonder, a world of awe, a world that would forever be a part of him. If this story moved you, if it made you stop, breathe, and think, subscribe to Still Waters Speak. New stories every single day. See you tomorrow.